Well, season's greetings. It is December 12th, and we're at the one city council meeting we're going to have this month. And, it's supposed to be a quick little meeting when I looked at the notes, and it lasted a little longer than I thought. But a couple knuckleheads spoke. I was one of them, okay? Now, citizens are allowed to make comments at the beginning of the city council meeting. They just have to fill out a little form. And I did. Because many of you know, I'm working in the Pirates Cove subdivision by Rock Builders. We've got a lot of new construction over there, and more coming. And some of the owners have been talking about people speeding through the neighborhood, not only on Texas Street, but on Pine Street as well. And I was out there this last week quite a bit, and I saw it firsthand. I saw trucks driving way too fast down Texas. I saw trucks flying down Pine Street. So I talked to the city council, and I also commented on the great job some of them are doing, being in the community, going out, doing outreach, posting online about what's going on, talking to citizens about projects when they need help, making the different departments know about it. So really good job to them. And they listened to me, they talked, and they made considerations, after the fact in their private sessions. And we're talking about trying to get maybe a stop sign and some ways to help slow these people down. And stop signs, it may happen. I think they're going to do some monitoring on the street to help slow down some of the traffic. And if you know about some streets that have way too much speed and people just flying through there, send me a message below. We'll go take a look at this street and we'll bring it up to council if it's one of those things. Now, in the regular meeting, after, there was another guy trying to put a lawsuit on the city. Doesn't even live in the city, had some problems. Apparently he's got some altercation issues and may have some other issues going on, but he had a service dog. Apparently something happened and he wasn't really happy, and he's trying to seek legal recourse, but it sounds like it's kind of one of those frivolous things, and just watching him and watching the way it works. But anybody has a right to speak as long as they fill out those forms. Now, in the regular meeting, Tim Andrews, that's Sally Andrews' husband, he came and spoke. He's actually one of the nominated people to sit on the appraisal board, the appraisal district's board. And he's been on there for a little bit, and he got re-elected or renominated for that position. And he basically came up and just acknowledged the council and said, this is what we do. Now, what I want to let you know, the Orange County Appraisal Board, what they don't do is raise taxes. That's not their job. They basically are a governing system for the appraisal district. They're an oversight committee. That's really it, an oversight committee. So the appraisal district board isn't the people that's probably making you mad because you're paying too much in taxes. No. If people need to get hired, if the building needs fixed, if new stuff comes up, that's what they're really for. So, and then see all my notes, going through my notes, spoke about the speed bumps, and so, actually, Melinda's a wonderful young lady, and she's going over some of the grants, trying to help the city get some money through the multitude of programs that are available. And it's not an easy thing. So she spoke on really an update about some of the stuff. One of the things was, the FEMA fund matching, projects that we've got. They put in for like 3 or 4 projects. One of them is just not going to happen. That's OST. Doesn't sound like it's going to happen because the project alone is like $1.2 million on a $1 million budget for everything, because they unearthed some things that needed some work. So doesn't sound like the OST is going to happen. Alamo Street sounds like it's going to get one of the drainage taken care of. Some of the stuff on that. Archie is part of a bigger project, about $4 million. Now, they originally earmarked it to just go to Fillmore, from I-10 Feeder Road to Fillmore, but it sounds like their funds are going to allow them to go a little bit farther. Funds were to Arnold, and now they're going to get to go to Fillmore. So that's a really good positive thing. So a little bit more money for that. And then they talked about Heritage. Many council or many citizens that live over at Heritage came in and spoke to the city council, talking about the problems that they have. The flooding, they've tax-paying citizens that have crappy roads. It keeps getting worse, and it sounds like, well, they're really working to try to get them money, and they've got a lot of no's. Everyone turns them down for some of this money, but because they've got so many no's and they're persistent, they may actually get some yeses. And it sounds like there's yeses in the distant future to be able to get some money. One of the big things is about getting some of this money for an Anderson survey, the Anderson Gully study. Because if they get a study on the drainage way, it will afford them and allow them to do so many other projects when they come up, because they can attribute it back to the study. But this study is ridiculously expensive, but they have to have it as a foundation tool to be able to get money for other things. That's really a bulk of what they talked about. There's some other stuff on some of the other grants that it's not looking too good. Regular city grants that we're trying to get for some of the other stuff, it's not looking too good. Now, if you happen to know Dade Phelan, if anybody knows Dade Phelan, he came around here talking about, hey, we need to vote for one of the propositions so they can earmark flood money, so that way we can get money for stuff that the state can't reappropriate that money for other projects. Doesn't sound like we can get crap. Pardon my language. Can't get anything. Because apparently we're not rural enough of a community for some of the guidelines. So if anyone out there knows Dade, comment, find out what we need to do to help get some of that money for our community and our surrounding areas, because we need it. We really, we're devastated by some of these last storms, and we could use some of that flood reparation money. So whatever it is that you guys do, post, comment, share, tag, all that good stuff, hit him up. He came and spoke to us, came and spoke to a lot of people, but he spoke to us. He was here. He shook hands, kissed babies. I don't really know if he did that, but let's try to get his help and just find out what we need to do to help get some of this money and get us on the right path. Now, the city council was also in executive session. This is probably my last point. They were in executive session for a little bit because you got to remember, we got a temporary city manager, Raleigh Burr, and they've got another candidate, Mr. Hood, who is actually Pinehurst city manager, I believe, and he and I spoke just a little bit. Nice guy. He's been in government for 23 years, I believe. But the city council narrowed the search view down to those two candidates. Those are the top candidates. So they eliminated everybody else. And they're going to have those candidates speak, I believe, on the January 9th session for the city council meeting, because that's the next meeting we have scheduled. And hopefully we get to hear some good stuff. And maybe I'll even get to record that so that you guys can see, because the city manager is essential to a town like us. He's the guy behind the scenes making things work. So if you've got a question, you want something brought up to city council, or you need help, or you need notice of some area, comment below, tag me, whatever. Let's get some attention to that. Guys, it's Jerad Spencer at the city council meeting for December 12th. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff, and we'll see you around town. And this is about making Vidor the kind of place you're proud to raise a family and proud to say you're from. Guys, Jerad Spencer, Flair Real Estate, 543-4713. Look forward to seeing you around town.